You're listening to the Wholesaling Inc podcast. I am your host, Lauren Hardy. And if this is the first time you've ever listened to our podcast, I want to welcome you. You are about to listen to the best podcast on wholesaling in the world. Today, I have one of my students. She's a student of my coaching program on virtual investing. Her name is Sandra Luban. Sandra, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lauren.
I am super excited to have you because you are a fellow mom and investor like myself. So we have that in common. We did know from the get-go that we had kind of that. I think you're a single mom too, right?
I am.
So we've got that single mom hustle in common, which is awesome. You know, it has some challenges, but it's still, we're doing it. We're not letting, it take us down. So I'm excited to be able to have a student who, is sharing something similar with me. Now let's get into it. When did you first start real estate, wholesaling, investing, all those things? When did you first start?
So when I came into the program, I started with Brent Daniels and I got like the basics down, and it was a great program. He is an amazing coach. I learned a lot. I live in California and I just couldn't figure out why I couldn't make wholesaling work here in California. And so for a couple months I was using Mojo Dialer and calling, and people were just yelling at me, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And then once I saw this video between you and Brent talking about virtual, and I thought, oh my God, this is my ticket.
And that's the other thing we have in common is we're both from California. You're LA. Yes. I'm Orange County, only about an hour away from each other. And I was one of the TTP students as well. And I love Brent's course, but I'm in California. And so I was doing TTP out of state. And I've been, virtual for several years, but I started out here in California, and I can absolutely commiserate with you. The California sellers are mean if they yell at you.
Me too.
They are so much meaner than like Midwest or down South sellers. So I totally could commiserate in that aspect. So when did you start my program then?
I don't remember exactly the date that I started your program, about 2-3 months ago. Okay. So what happened was I wasn't getting any leads after doing Brent's program. And shortly afterwards, COVID started. And I do marketing and sales. I've been doing that for 15 years and doing very well. But everything came to a halt in March 20th. And the business I was working for with my partner now, it had to close. And I was like, what am I going to do? And my partner saw your video on Wholesaling Inc. And he's like, let's do it. And I was like, okay, I don't have any income right now. I am going to just press my luck because I believe in this and I know that I can do it. And so like literally in 2 days, I decided to join your program. And I was so happy. Like I loved all your coaching classes. I loved the videos that we were watching, and I learned so much, and I felt like, oh my God, this is my ticket. And I was really worried. I'm like, when the government was still trying to figure out the stimulus checks, and I'm a single mom. What am I going to do?
Right.
And I just had to hit it hard. And within 2 weeks after I finished your program, within 2 weeks, I got my first deal. And I closed it within the first month.
So essentially you're saying my program, but after you finish my actual 10-day course, right?
That's right. After I finished studying your course.
2 weeks later, you got your first deal under contract.
That's right. Yes.
That's crazy. And I remember you were hustling, like you were on every call. You still are. You've never missed one call. You are on everything. And it gives me comfort because I know, you've taken other courses. You also are very detail oriented. You are listening to every single thing I say. So I know that if there's like something I'm missing in my course, you're going to let me know. So it makes me feel good that, you went through my course and you would tell me like, Lauren, you should put a module in this, and you haven't yet. So
it is solid, your course. I'll tell you, I went to the university. I have a bachelor's degree in biology. I've taken a lot. I've been in school a lot. Your course is solid. There are things that come up and I have questions on situations, but I don't feel that there was any leaf that wasn't unturned. Like, I feel like it was like you explain it well. I was able to grasp everything you were saying, and I just listened to what you said and I applied it, and it worked. It's a formula. It's like a recipe.
It's a recipe.
You gave us the recipe and it works. And I got the best cake possible.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's a recipe and you can get one thing wrong in the recipe. And that's the thing, is that you had the recipe, you did another course, and that course is awesome too. Brent's course is amazing. But what's different is you lived in California, and that's the one ingredient of your recipe that it's a perspective issue. And that's why Wholesaling Inc asked me to come on, was because I've got this unique perspective of the high price market that not a lot of other educators have in the country. Because quite frankly, people like you and me, they try it in our market and they just give up and go into like selling CBD or something, like, but the people, New York, Miami, Seattle, Orange County, LA, I mean, there's a lot of frustrated aspiring investors. And unless the educator has gone through that, they don't actually know that ingredient is off, or they don't know what to say, right? They don't know, what to do. So often I say, like, my course is a really good combination with another course. If you want to get into sub 2, and my course, or if you want to learn all about TTP marketing, CRMs, being a marketing ninja, do TTP with Brent, but then take my course and this is the virtual component that I can, we add to it, you combine it, boom, you're good. And now you were doing deals within 2 weeks of finishing the 10 modules in my course. So right. Killer. That's amazing. Tell me about the first deal.
The first deal we got on contract. The guy was very motivated. He was an older man. He has several properties. He was kind of tired. He knew that he had to put 30K into it. And he was like, you know what? I just don't want to do that. So he said, I'll sell it to you for 80. So the next day he came back and he said he talked to his wife and he wants 90. I said, okay. So we did our numbers and we found somebody that could buy it for 118. So we made 28 on that. It was smooth. And the guy liked us so much that he referred one of his best friends she's very well off and she has houses. And so now we're doing another $28,000 deal with his friend.
Dang. So your first wholesale fee was $28,000.
And the second one too.
Oh my God. That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's only been like a month and a half.
A month and a half of finishing my course. You made 28,000 cash, and then you have another 28 in escrow. That is really amazing. That's crazy. So, and before that, had you done any deals at all?
Zero. Okay. And I was using Mojo Dialer. I don't want to call people anymore. Like the texting thing solved it for me. Yeah. It just weeds out all the people who are interested and who are not. And if they want to get mad at me, they can get mad at me through a text and I can just delete it. But I don't need to sit on the phone while they yell at me.
Yeah, totally. And I heard about texting through Brent Daniels. Like Brent told me all about texting and, so I have him to thank. So that's my favorite thing. Like the cold calling thing is definitely another way to do it. And I think that it's great to cold call landlines because you can only text cell phones. So there is like a chunk of people that you are missing in that, aspect. But the texting thing is just like the easiest, way to do it. And we're busy single moms. So we need like easy and late, a little quick and efficient.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I realized that I have to send out about probably 2,500 to 3,000 text messages. And I still have leads that I haven't gotten to. I mean, I have a lot of leads.
Yeah.
So the key in your program, which I loved, is you gave us a ninja trick in order to find the best, areas to pick my territory. And so I followed like all these 10 steps of what does your city have to find buyers. And I took a, spreadsheet and I went through every city that I imagined would be good from my research on Google. And I put the numbers in and I saw which ones lined up. And the one that was the winner was actually really a good market.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what's next for you? What's your next goal?
We want to do about maybe 4 to 5 deals a month, but I think I need to find a couple of JV partners because I think the worst thing that could happen is that I could get a lot of leads and I can't handle it all myself. Mm-hmm. So my next step is to get my team in place and have a lot of JV partners together so that I could start moving, because I'm also looking at doing radio in Kansas City.
Yeah.
On one of your videos, I heard you talking, or somebody was talking about radio.
Mm-hmm.
And that I called up the radio station and I got info on that. And it's a lot easier than I thought.
Oh, wow. That's cool. That's cool. And Chris Arnold is one of our coaches on radio. He knows all about it. So yeah, check out, it's probably him. Check out his stuff on YouTube. But that's really cool. So you want to scale a little bit. You want to set up a team. And we've talked about the JV thing. I always say with joint venture partners, it's like the three little bears. You want three of them because there might be one that's too hot, one might be too cold. And there's always that one that's just right. But, you've got to have multiple because, also I think perspective, you might have a boots on ground that thinks a deal isn't really a deal. And then you show it to one other person and he knows that area better and he knows it's a deal and it turns out it was a deal, right? If you're only going to one person, one JV partner, one person that's the boots on ground in your virtual territory, they only know so much, right? That just might not be their area of expertise. So try different people.
I want to share something really important that I've learned too. I've noticed that a lot of people who are doing wholesaling, they go online, they might watch videos, they might go into different, YouTube videos, and then they go out and do it. From my experience, because I've taken your course, I can see that I would have fumbled a lot more. I would have lost deals. I would have lost money if I would have just tried to wing it. I think that if I could recommend and say things to people, like take a course, learn the details. So you might think, oh, I'm spending on a course. But if you're trying to do this yourself, you're going to end up losing money because you're going to lose deals. You're not going to know how to be able to comp them. I actually can comp now better than my JVs that are on the ground because I've been watching some of the videos and I learned how to comp through the different methods that you're teaching, and it actually works. I'm like, no, that's too low. We need to hold our ground here. If somebody is deciding whether they want to take a course or whether they want to learn it themselves, think about this. You might lose some money going through YouTube videos. You might lose deals. You always have a coach to go back to. Like right now, I have a situation where something wasn't disclosed to us with a seller about the basement. And now we're having to go back to the seller and, renegotiate and ask for a price reduction. Well, I can always go to you and ask you now, what can I do with this situation? If you don't have a coach and you're in a sticky situation, you could even get into legal problems. So I always think it's best to follow people who have years of experience under their belt and, don't think you can just go out there and watch a couple of videos and open up your business.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I always say YouTube University gives you vision, but it doesn't give you direction. It doesn't give you the recipe. It just shows you the cake. What happens is people go to YouTube University and they fiddle around and they waste money. They literally light marketing dollars on fire because they don't have a direct linear plan to execute the marketing strategy, and they don't have their sales funnel figured out. They don't know what they're doing. They don't even know how to make an offer. They're making lowball offers and getting laughed off the planet by sellers. I mean, there's so many things where this recipe could go wrong. All 20 ingredients of the recipe, they literally go wrong on every little thing just because they have the ingredients of the recipe, but they don't actually have the measurements, right? It's kind of, I'm using this analogy of a recipe and I'm taking it as far as I can go, but
we have a house on contract and we have squatters in the house. So we had to get a lawyer. I mean, these are very delicate things that you really have to use kid gloves for. I mean, there's always something different that comes up. And when you have a coach, that's your go-to person. If you're on your own, then you're spending a lot more money. You're spinning your wheels. And I think it's a lot harder in the end.
Oh, absolutely. You'll lose more money in the end not having a coach than having a coach. I 100% believe that. And also, I think that there's also an emotional component, where you guys, something that's ruffling your feathers, freaking you out. I know we have something that we're going to talk about after, not on the show, but after. And I'm sure, you mentioned kind of your feathers are ruffled. You're kind of freaking out about this thing. And me being the coach, just hearing, oh yeah, we go through that all the time. Happens about once a quarter. Not a big deal. Don't stress about it. Just having that person to tell you it's not a big deal. It's nice, right? Cause that's almost I looked at my coaches almost like therapy. They were my therapist, just to tell me to calm down. Don't worry. It's fine. And then you're okay, okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
If you read a lot of the bestsellers on the shelf, all of them have had coaches. And I just think that this is a very sound group of coaches. They know their stuff. They've walked the walk. They're walking the talk. They're doing it. They're out there and they're showing us how to do it. And I'm so grateful. One of the blessings of COVID has been that it pushed me to just do it. It just said, like, because I was on my second coaching program and I said, should I do this second coaching program? And when COVID hit, I said, I'm going to do it. I'm so grateful. I wouldn't have done it any other way. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Oh, that's really sweet. Well, I know I'm so glad to have you. And you've been, I mean, you really have worked very hard. So you like, you did this, like you are responsible for your success. Like you did this, you've worked so hard. I think you're literally one of the hardest working students in the group. You've not missed one thing, not one coaching call, nothing. So I really, the sky is the limit for you. I can't wait to see where you are a year from now. And we'll have to have you back. I mean, I think we should definitely do like a repeat, like a year from now. Where is Sandra? She's killing it. She has a team, you know, she bought the house she wants to buy. Like I'm very excited for you.
That's amazing. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
Well, I will cut it at that. Is there any last thoughts that you want to leave the audience with?
In my quiet moments, I would take out a notebook and I would write what my goals are and my dreams are. And after doing your program, I have to say, I talked to my 12-year-old daughter, like I really see my dreams coming to fruition. It brings tears to my eyes because I really see a method of how I can create a beautiful life and have the things that we want to buy a house. And my daughter wants a puppy and I really see that path. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. That's so sweet. You make me cry. I actually cried before this episode talking to someone. Like I've already cried once today. I have hit my crying threshold. Okay, Sandra. Well, oh my gosh. Well, we love having you a part of the program. And you guys, if you guys want to reach out to Sandra in any way, Sandra, how can people get a hold of you? Are you on the social networks?
I'm on Wholesaling Inc. And I'm on Facebook.
Yeah, you're on Facebook. Okay, so find Sandra on Facebook. You're in the REI Freedom Facebook group, right?
Yes, I am.
If you guys want to find her on Facebook.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.